I get it, you're staring at a rack of commercial brewers in a showroom, or scrolling through endless listings online, and the thought that you might spend a few $100s on a machine that ends up gathering dust is nagging at you. You've probably heard the hype about fast, efficient, and ready for a crowd. But the real question is whether that promise translates into a smoother morning rush at your office kitchen or a reliable sidekick for a small CAF. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. Let's break down what the Bunn 12950.0212 CWTF15 actually does in a day-to-day setting, and decide if it's the right fit for your coffee needs or just another piece of equipment you'll regret. First off, the biggest draw of this Bunn model is the speed. It can pump out close to 4 gallons of coffee per hour, which means you're not waiting around for a pot to finish while your team's already gathering for the first meeting. In practice, that translates to a fresh pot for a 20-person office in under 10 minutes, or a steady stream for a breakfast rush at a boutique bakery. The built-in hot water tap adds a practical twist. No need to pull a separate kettle when someone asks for an Americano or a tea bag. That little extra faucet can actually shave a minute or two off each order, and in a busy environment, those minutes add up. The 3 lower warmers are another practical element. They keep carafes, decanters, or air pots at serving temperature without the need for a separate warming station. If you've ever tried to keep a pot from going cold by leaving it on a countertop, you know the disappointment when the coffee turns lukewarm after 15 minutes. With these warmers, the coffee stays at a consistent temperature for the duration of a meeting or a brunch service, which means you can serve a crowd without constantly reheating or risking flavor loss. That said, the warmers do draw power continuously, so they'll add to your electricity bill. A consideration if you're running the machine in a location where you're watching every watt. Stainless steel construction is more than a shiny look. It's about durability in a commercial environment. Over the years, Bunn machines have built a reputation for standing up to the hustle of daily use, and the stainless body resists dents and the occasional splash that can happen when you're juggling a pot and a carafe. The SplashGard funnel is a thoughtful safety feature. Its angled design deflects the hot brew away from your hands, which can be a real relief if you've ever gotten a scalding surprise while pouring. In a fast-paced kitchen, that extra layer of protection can reduce the odds of a minor injury that would otherwise send someone to the break room for a bandage. Now, let's talk about the trade-offs. The Bunn CWTF15 doesn't come with its own carafes or air pots. You have to buy those separately. That's not a huge hurdle if you already have compatible containers, but for a first-time buyer it adds an extra line item you might not have budgeted for. Also, the machine is sized for a countertop or a small service station, so it isn't built for a high-volume coffee shop that needs to serve dozens of drinks per minute. If you're planning to run a full-scale CAF with constant espresso orders, you'll quickly outgrow the 4 gallon-per-hour capacity and look for a larger batch brewer or an espresso-centric system. Who should consider hitting add to cart? If you run a small office, a co-working space, a boutique bakery, or a community center that needs a reliable, quick brewing solution for up to a few dozen cups at a time, this Bunn hits the sweet spot. Its fast brew time, integrated hot water tap, and 3 warmers mean you can serve coffee, tea, and even hot chocolate without juggling multiple appliances. It's also a solid pick for event planners who need a portable, self-contained unit to set up at a conference room or a pop-up market stall. Just plug it in, load the water, and you're ready to go. On the flip side, if you're a high-traffic coffee shop that serves a steady line of espresso drinks, cappuccinos, and specialty brews, you'll likely find the Bunn's single brew focus limiting. You also won't get the granular temperature control or programmable brewing cycles that higher-end commercial brewers offer. And if you're working with a tight electricity budget, the continuous warmers may be a small but noticeable cost factor. In those scenarios, it's wiser to look at larger batch brewers or a dual brew system that can handle both drip coffee and espresso in parallel. A practical strength that often gets overlooked is how easy the machine is to clean. The brew head is accessible without disassembling the whole unit, and the stainless interior doesn't retain coffee oils the way some plastic models do. For a business that values quick turnover between shifts, being able to rinse and wipe down the brewer in a few minutes keeps downtime to a minimum. The downside is the lack of an automatic cleaning.